Time. So before we get started, do not forget to subscribe and all that stuff. Okay. Like I said, like usual, I always got my notes. All right. Now, there's an old saying that was an old saying when I was a little kid about 60 years ago. Pie in the sky. All right. It pretty much means that something good that someone says will happen, but seems impossible or pretty much unlikely. Like in one of my videos, the mother told her daughter, if a pie fall from the sky, you gotta be still outside to catch it. Now, because of China's one-child policy in the 80s and 90s, meaning that each child in mainland China could only have one child, so most families kept the male child and aborted the female child. So now China has 30 million more male adult men than they do women. So one would think that women have the advantage when it comes to dating and marriage in China. However, the reality is that men have the advantage when it comes to dating and marriage, even though there's 30 more men in China, single men in China, than are women. Over the age of 25, the ratio is 9-1, meaning that for every 9 women, there's only one really eligible, suitable, marriageable man within China. People keep forgetting that women do not date down or marry down. The more money, education, or resources a woman attains, she requires her man to have even more money, more education, or more resources than what she has. Some things are just universal, meaning that it does not matter the country, the nationality, or the culture. This is just the way humans are built all over the world. So the same thing that is taking place in China are taking place here in the West or in the United States. The more educated a woman here in the United States are, the less likely she will be able to attain a partner or ever get married, because women do not date down. So taking all this into account, when a passport brother jumps off a plane or comes to the woman country, these women know that that compared to local men, the passport brother probably has more money, probably is more educated, and thus also have more resources. Therefore, we are more desirable in comparison. People keep saying that when we older men go to places like Thailand or the Philippines, we get a girl who's in her 20s. And we might be in her 50s or within our 60s. And they say that these are transactional relationships, that the girl is only with the older men because of money. Yes, this is true. But all relationships and marriage are transactional relationships. Here in the United States, women require their men to be earning over $100,000 a year, be highly educated, and all of that stuff. We men want a woman that doesn't have kids and is young and beautiful and does not have a high body count. In Asia, older men are looked at as being more emotionally and psychologically stable and reliable compared to younger men, thus more suited to have a family and raise children. Women in Asia are raised to be wives and mothers. So if the women in these countries want a good man, a man that will not cheat, a man that will be home to take care of the family, a man that's not running around out in the streets. This is why older gentlemen seem to be the prize, especially if you are a well-kept, decent-looking man or decent-looking older man. If you are fat, out of shape, dressed like a slob, then do not expect to get a lot of attention from very young females within Asia or any attention from any females within Asia. Then some would say that many of these women in Thailand has worked in the adult entertainment industry. Let's say you are 100% correct. Women in Thailand and other Asian countries have worked in the adult entertainment industry and would not be with us foreign men if we did not have any money. However, many women in the United States who have professional careers have also been with over 50 to 100 men before they turn 27 years old. So, what's your point? However, when we go to Asia, we can get a younger woman who will do their best to take care of us and give us fat, happy children. Now, compare these women to the women you can get here in the United States within the West. Most have a high body count, and you have over 50% chance she will divorce you within 5 years and take your children and leave you broke and poor. Do not forget to subscribe and all that stuff.
Many people believe that due to the long-term implementation of the one-child policy and the preference for boys over girls, there has always been a situation in China where there are more men than women. According to authoritative data from demographers, the gender ratio in China is 117 to 100, with 30 to 40 million more males than females. In the matchmaking group for those aged 25 to 40 in China, women far outnumber men. This seemingly counterintuitive outcome is hard to believe, but after verifying through multiple online channels, the data on the male-to-female ratio in matchmaking across major cities is approximately 1 to 9. At the Wangsong Academy Matchmaking Corner in Hangzhou, a mother forcibly dragged her 35-year-old daughter to a matchmaking event. The daughter reluctantly said, "I don't want to go." The mother ignored her, dragging her to an older man who was looking for a partner for his son. Upon hearing that the man was born in 1979, 13 years older than her, had a house but no car, and was a local from Hangzhou, the daughter's face showed disinterest. For educated women, marriage cannot just be settled for, and their unwillingness to settle gradually turns them into older single women. Their view of marriage differs significantly from the previous generation, with the biggest change being their increased independence and emphasis on spiritual needs.
Hangzhou has an overflow of older single women because they take the top criteria for men as their minimum standard. At the matchmaking corner in Wansong Academy, you'll find that 90% of the profiles belong to women in their 30s, and nearly 70% of them are in their 30s. Their consistent requirements are: men must be at least 1.75 meters tall, look decent, be within 5 years of their age, have at least a bachelor's degree, own a fully paid house and a car in Hangzhou, earn at least 300,000 yuan a year, have no bad habits, and be attentive, fit, and caring. I asked a girl nearby if these standards were too high. She said, "Without money, how can you support a family? Without a car, how do you get around? Without a house, where will you live?" All the girls here have the same standards. If I set my standards lower, I'll be outshone by others. But if everyone has such high standards, who can end up with a partner? In Hangzhou, men who meet these criteria are scarce and snapped up quickly. Why would they come to a matchmaking corner? Even though the women here are decent, with houses, cars, and savings, the men have these too. What advantages do older single women have? Quality men have a broad choice, and unless a woman is young, good-looking, and has standout advantages, why would a man choose her?
Currently, the marriage agency's registrations also show more women and fewer men, with women generally being older. Professor Su Xiaoling from the University of California, Davis, believes that this choice is related to women's educational levels. She said, "Women with a college education become more determined to assert their rights and social status. Well-educated women find it increasingly difficult to find suitable men who share the same views on women's rights." She also said, "There's an excess of highly educated women, but a shortage of highly educated men. Many leftover women have high standards, viewing many men as unambitious or lacking prospects. They believe that their knowledge and talents require men who are financially secure, good-looking, and high of character. However, in reality, most men are ordinary, and high-quality men have a wide range of choices and often marry and have children early. A leftover woman would complain, 'There are no good men in the world. I haven't met any man who meets my standards.' These women often live in their own fantasy."
That man, the man you're talking about, is magnitudes more valuable than another man. Just from an income standpoint. We're talking about a man who's at least 3 times more income than average men. Right? At least. Then why doesn't he get 3 times more options of women?
You mentioned your body count.
Yeah.
Do you want to reveal that really quick right now?
I'm
since
gonna
we're
be
at it?
honest, I stopped counting at 254. So it's definitely above that.
Haram!
Wait, 254?
254 is where I stopped counting.
254.
254, yes.
What's your body count?
Are you gonna post this on TikTok?
No, probably not.
74?
74? What's your body count?
8.5.
1 in 3 women have an STD. 90% of women have been on contraceptives at one point in their life. Women are on antidepressants more than ever before. What has promiscuity led to for women? Magnifying on just women? So, well, why can't we have a conversation about women without saying but men? Like, we're just talking about the women now, so we can come back to the men later. I'm not saying men are perfect, but I'm saying, like, if we're so happy and promiscuity leads to great things, why is it when our body counts go up, we have more STDs, more abortions, we're on antidepressants more? Like, it's not good.
Antidepressants has anything to do with body count. Yeah.
For the 27-year-old man, what would his income ideally be? Like,
what would it have to be
to support this life?
Which is so funny because I saw this video the other day where it was saying, like, if your wife can spend more than you make, like, you need to make more money. So it really just depends. But I mean, just to have like a really decent lifestyle and you know, be supported well, like 150 maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure. The more the merrier, but that'd be comfortable.
I was just having this conversation with my friend, and she was like, you have to manifest a husband, girl. Like, you have to really think about the lifestyle that you want to live when it comes down to vacations and how many kids you want to have, and just like the lifestyle that you want to have. And I feel like ideally my husband needs to be making like 650,000.
Cooking and cleaning for you is not a woman's job. It's your mother's job when you're a child. Are you a child? Are you looking to marry your mother?
I would be like excited for him to get home. Then he would get home and he would be like, hey, like, say hello, give us a kiss. And then he would go and start doing the dishes. I was like, why am I feeling rage because he's going to do the dishes? And like you're saying, it's not about doing the dishes. Yeah. The point was, I've been excited for him to get home all day, and now he is putting his attention somewhere else. And I was like, when you come home, can you just come and sit with us and like talk to us and just literally be present with us for like 15-20 minutes and then together we can decide like who's gonna start getting dinner ready and do the dishes.
So what do you suggest the women in the West do if everyone's advice is for men in the West to look elsewhere for a wife? What happens to all the women in the West then?
Well, that one study we referenced that said by 2030 or something, 50% of women will be without a man. So that's the direction we're heading, because the men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas, and then the other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their options dwindle.